Your inner self and the whole universe is constantly communicating to you. But if you keep suppressing it and ignoring it, this is literally like your twin flame is mirroring that back to you because you are one.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Twin Flames Universe. We are Twin Flames in Union, Daniel and Carmen, and today we're going to talk about the hot topic, how to end zero contact with your Divine Masculine or your Twin Flame.
And how to actually always communicate with them. So you not only stop zero contact, but you're going to stay in touch with them always with this simple technique that we're going to share in this video.
But first of all, let's talk about why this happened. The main reason is actually that you are always in communication. There's no such a thing as zero contact with your twin flame. Maybe on the outside doesn't look like it. Maybe you haven't talked in a few months, days, years, whatever, right? But that doesn't mean there is no communication. Jeff and Julia talk in their classes that not communication is actual communication, because you are being shown where you need to heal or where you need to work to develop the communication that you want. Of course, we all want to talk and text every day or every hour, right? That's the goal, of course, but not having that in this moment doesn't mean that you're not having any communication. Perhaps right now your twin flame is communicating to you, work on your finances, work on your foundation, work on these blogs, or work in your lifestyle, right? Because sometimes your twin flame may mirror these no communication when you put them on a pedestal, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So maybe you think like, hey, he's not talking to me or she's not talking to me. What's going on? I really want to be with them and we should be talking because I love this person so much. And your twin flame is basically mirroring like, hey, don't put me on a pedestal. Don't stop your life for me. Like, don't be needy, right? And that's what you are working on. And that's the communication you are receiving.
That's a really good one. Just to quickly underline this concept, what Daniel just shared is there is this saying or this concept saying you cannot not communicate. So even if just two people stare at each other but don't say a word, you're communicating in this moment. The best way to get clear on what is your twin flame communicating to you right now is to always check in with your heart to see how you feel about that. Sometimes it seems like, you're upset about it, that they are not communicating with you. And that's perfect because this is what they're communicating to you literally. Love yourself there and communicate with yourself. I experienced that a lot, that I was always like craving a lot of communication and context, and actually happened, when I reached out to him to tell him, hey, bro, I think we are twin flames. I texted him and he was not communicating back. And usually we were always texting back and forth. We thought first we are just friends and all of that, right? And suddenly he didn't respond to it at all anymore. And I was like, what's going on here? That's weird. And he didn't even see the message yet, but he must have received the notification. So I was sitting down and I was like, okay, what's that communicating to me? Since he's my guy and I'm pretty sure about that. And I know that he knows too because we are one. Hint, hint, that counts for you too. I choose to communicate with myself. Where am I not listening to myself? For example, suppressing my needs. Whenever I want to drink water and my mouth is very dry, I'm not listening to that and not drinking water, not fulfilling my own needs. And this is a way of communication too. Your inner self and the whole universe is constantly communicating to you. Hey, trust here. Hey, do this next step. Do something good for yourself. But if you keep suppressing it and ignoring it, this is literally like your twin flame is mirroring that back to you because you are one. And in that specific moment where he was ignoring me, right? He was just mirroring something to me. For me, it was just a lesson of claiming him deeper, claiming myself deeper, and be like, whoa, that's a joke we sometimes have between each other when we're not responding within an hour or something to our messages when I'm at work, he's at home or whatever. He's like, I choose to read myself. And for real, like a few seconds later, I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, damn, he texted me. I didn't even see. And that was the same thing here, right? Like,
yeah, your choice is powerful. Like you share one consciousness. So if you choose to do something like from a peaceful place, of course, not control, your twin flame can choose different, There was this time where I was at the market and I was getting some wine for the Christmas dinner. And I was like, hey, should I get like one bottle or two bottles or this flavor or this what? And she was not answering and the store was about to close. And I was just like, I choose to read myself. And in that instant, she was like, oh, yes, bring these ones. And I was just like, It was so easy. And I was like waiting for her answer for like 10 minutes or something. I was like, oh my God. When she sent me those messages, I was also moving through my stuff of not knowing who my true twin flame was. And I was like very sad in that moment. You see that this thing that she thought I was ignoring her and me thinking like I don't have a twin flame, it was just another block that was showing off from both sides. And once we healed it, we realized like, oh my God, this is the thing that happened, right? You know, it's not as hard as it seems. And it can be very funny. And sometimes the stories are funny, like going for wine. I was just like, oh my God, she's ignoring me. And I choose to read myself. And then she sent me messages. I didn't read them because I didn't get a notification. Once you get to the core of the blog, you realize that this big thing that seemed like big, it's actually something funny and sometimes maybe a little stupid.
Yes, in the end, that's the beautiful thing about twin flames, because you both love each other like equally. It sometimes, I know, looks like you are the one really obsessed with them and loving them and craving them, and they're just like, text to me later, or, block you or whatever. But this is not what it is about. It's really just about loving yourself, getting to know yourself, getting to be interested in yourself, communicating with yourself. At some point, I started like even doing self-talks with myself. I was really like, oh, Jesus, I'm a really cool person, I like to be my own friend, and I'm not really alone. I don't feel alone because I'm constantly communicating to God or the universe or my heart, however you want to call it. You're not alone. I realized in that moment that I'm actually communicating with my twin flame, because when you are in that space where you feel good, loved, peaceful, and you just enjoy your own company, this is where your twin flame needs you. And this is where they can meet you, and the only place they can meet you, always in love. And no worries, they won't only like mirror to you the places where you're ignoring yourself. Sometimes it also looks like, your twin flame is there for you and helping you move through it and making you aware, like, hey, look, sweetie, you haven't loved yourself here. Want my support? This is what it's about. Like, it's all about love. It's all about really enjoying your life. And as Daniel said so wonderfully in the beginning, don't abandon your life just for them. I did the same. I was like constantly texting, looking at my phone. I was like, oh my God, why is he not texting back? He was online that time. I basically like on WhatsApp. When was he online? How many times was he online? Did he read my messages? I was just like, for my own sake and peace, I choose to make peace with this and just really be there for myself, and gives you a lot of relief to not look for them anymore, to wait for a response from them. Babe, what would you say to someone who is awaiting a response from the twin flame, maybe about something very important, and what would you recommend to them?
From my experience, usually when you experience these not communicating blocks, is because you're usually ignoring something within yourself that you are aware of. Perhaps you're just ignoring a little tiny bit of a feeling that you don't like. And just listening to that may change everything. Don't listen to people who say that twin flames are hard or toxic or painful, because that's not the truth. Your twin flame and the twin flame relationship and union is the best one you can ever have. Like, God wouldn't create this kind of relationship to hurt you or bring you, pain. That doesn't make sense. Like, a loving God will never create something painful. So if twin flames exist, it's so you can experience the deepest love you could ever experience in your life. Listen to those who have what you want.
Oh, yes.
Follow them, practice what they preach, and you will get the results, because this is not about us being special and chosen ones. We just, we just move through our own process to arrive here, and so can you, right? It's easy, it's fun, and it's worth it.
Yes. And you can always ask yourself when you don't know where to start, like, what am I trying to get from my twin flame right now? Maybe it's confirmation, maybe it's just presence, approval, all of these things. And you can start there by giving this to yourself. And that's literally it. It can be really as simple, and it is as simple as that.
So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and comment. What is your experience right now with your twin flame? What are you going through? And have you experienced these blocks? And if so, let us know so we can help you with that. And don't forget to do the free twin flame test that will be linked down below in the section comment. And we'll see you in the next video.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.